Alright, so we've got a lot of content here today. So, first and foremost, we have patch notes. We have League of Legends patch notes, we have TFT patch notes. They're reviving another set for TFT, which is the Dragon one, I believe, with the special Dragon units. There's a new ARAM mode, which adds augments. And we have a dev update to look at, which I think also includes news on this ARAM stuff. So that's a lot of stuff. Let's just go ahead and start with typical League of Legends. Good old 25.20, which I believe is the Worlds patch. So let's take a look. I expect them to buff a lot of stupid stuff that they want to see get played at Worlds, as usual. And then maybe they'll nerf Azir or something. Oh, actually? I see Azir. I'm already scared. Camille as well? Jeez. Graves and Wukong as well? Alright. Let's just get into it. To celebrate Worlds, we're bringing a bit of it to the Rift with Worlds themed decor. Trials of Twilight Xinjiao. Brand new team emotes. And the new icon. Yeah, whatever. Streamer mode improvements. Okay. Ooh, hide other names. Interesting. Wow, an anonymous hide everything. That's cool. That's really cool. That probably doesn't affect much of anyone. It doesn't even affect me. I'm not a big streamer or anything. I'm playing in what Emerald MMR right now. So unless people suddenly catch on, it won't matter. But that'll probably be big for a lot of bigger streamers. Banning allied hovers in NA and OCE only. In normal draft, ranked, and arena, or any other queue with the ban phase, you can no longer ban a champion an ally is hovering. Okay. Well, that's nice. That's a cute little thing. I only ever see that happen when a new champion comes out, right? Like when Yanara came out or whatever. Whenever a new champ comes out, like if you hover a new champion in ranked, your allies will ban it right away anyway because they just don't want to see it in game. Which realistically, I feel like brand new champions should be disabled in ranked for like a full patch. Right? I know it brings a lot of people to the game, but and it gets people hyped to play because they want to play the new champ. But it's like borderline trolling because the new champ is either really really strong day one because no one knows how to deal with it and the dude playing it is just like overpowered, or it's really weak because the person playing it has no idea what they're doing. But whatever, that's just semantics. Let's move on. Anivia. Anivia's been struggling to find success in the mid lane as of late. You know the interesting thing about Anivia? I have been saying for years now that I think Anivia is one of the most balanced champs in this game. I feel like she doesn't get a lot of changes compared to a lot of other champs, and it's not that I think she's weak or strong, I just feel like I have never in my life played against Anivia and thought, man, that champ's broken, or man, that champ's weak, right? She always seems good enough to be a viable champ worth respecting, but never so bad that I want her to be immediately nerfed, you know? But anyway, got some buffs. Her Q is down 1 second across the board, and her E got a 5 base damage increase. Kind of seems like placebo buffs, but you know, a little oomph to get more people playing Anivia. That's probably fine. Alright, Azir. It's a Worlds patch. You can't have a Worlds patch without Azir. A bit too powerful in higher levels of play at the moment. Bullshit. He's too strong at the highest level of play in general. He always will be. Pretty good shape for regular play. Yes, yes, yes. Let's just see what you did. AP ratio on his W down by 10% at level 1, but up by 10% when you max it. So instead of 40 to 60, it's now 30 through 70. So is that to pull people once again away from maxing Q first? Oh, but the recharge rate's a little longer early and then equalizes again late. Damage to additional charges, 25 through 100. 20% until level 8, then plus 8 per level, going up to 100% at 18. Right, so it's actually worse early on for hitting multiple targets. Early on. Yeah. So Azir's worse early in general. But he scales better now. And his E, I didn't even know his E did damage. I thought it was just a shield. So 60 through 220 plus 40 is now 70 through 230 plus 60. So Azir's scaling better. Yeah, they cut Azir's early game and gave him a better late game. I don't know. I feel like that's still just going to be a very good reason to just play the hell out of him in pro play. I mean, at the end of the day, what makes this champion so amazing is just that he has like infinite damage. And he's so hard to siege against. And he's capable of massive playmaking. I still think he's just going to be pick and ban at Worlds. Briar. Briar's been tearing it up as one of the highest performing junglers at lower ranks a bit now. Looking to tap down her power. Passive. Oh, she lost 2 stacks off her passive. Crimson Curse is like, I don't know the exact damage number off the top of my head, but the base damage is like 9, right? And then it's a bleed that lasts for several seconds. This is hefty. Don't get it. Don't think that this is. It's not a huge nerf by any means, obviously, but this is a good cut to her damage over time. Because these numbers do add up after a while, right? Like, not getting 2 stacks of something might not be all that noticeable right away, but it's going to start to feel noticeable over the course of an entire game where she's losing hundreds, if not thousands, of points of damage. Camille. Camille's landing phase is very hit or miss. Please do not buff this champ. She lost half an armor from her armor growth. Okay. So, minus 9 armor at level 18. W, tactical sweep. Cooldown. Less. 2 seconds less early. Base damage up 10. Okay, that's not crazy. It's kind of like... Okay, that's a cute little adjustment. I'm fine with that. I just don't want Camille to be the end-all be-all of top lane again. I want some horsewomen type stuff. Fizz is a little weak right now. Some might say he's floundering. You know, Fizz is funny to me because there's no in-between with how strong this champion is. I remember back in season... What was it? I started playing the game at the end of season 3. And it was like, for the longest time, Fizz just felt like one of the worst things to play against. Because you couldn't catch him, you couldn't hit him. He one-shots everything. He was one-shotting towers back then. With just a Lich Bane. Anybody remember Tank Fizz with Triforce? Ugh. It was disgusting. But now I haven't seen him in a very long time. The last time I saw Fizz is when I was playing Arena. I don't think I've seen Fizz in Rift in years. So let's see. Seastone Trident. Passive damage over time. 20 to 60 plus 30% AP is now 30 through 90. So up 30 base damage when you max it. But it's a little less AP scaling. Damage over time no longer affects structures. Displays total damage dealt. Active burst damage. 50 to 130 is now 50 through 150. On hit damage. 20 to 30 plus 35 is now 20 through 40 plus 30. It's just a nerf. We're looking to make some power positive adjustments to make them less reliant on snowballing while still having to build primarily AP. Upfront W burst. Make his ultimate bit weaker. Open up a few new item choices. Am I stupid? How is this a buff? Slightly higher base damage, but he lost the AP ratio? Damage over time doesn't affect towers anymore, so he can't split push as well? Unless this on-hit damage still applies to towers. So it's like, over the course of hitting multiple auto attacks on a tower, like maybe you want to build attack speed and then you can split push that way. I don't see how this is good for Fizz at all. Chum the Waters. Guppy, Chomper, and Gigalodon. 350 plus 80 is now 420 plus 60? I mean, 70 base damage is cool, but minus 20% AP? 425 plus 100? 525 plus 70. This is across the board. Nah, these have to be nerfs. I don't play Fizz and I don't see a lot of Fizz, but someone explain to me why this is good. Is it supposed to be power positive? I don't see it. I mean, if he hits you with enough auto attacks, sure, but yeah, I don't see it. Graves, fairly popular junkie that's performing decently right now. I feel like Graves has been busted for like 8 years now, but whatever. His builds have devolved into one-shot lethality. We don't believe this to be a good state for him because his playstyle becomes one-shot or be one-shot, which isn't fun for anyone. I agree. Sustained combat pattern where Scopa Brace can utilize their grit. So we're nudging his builds and playstyle around to make him less reliant on bonus AD. Net out on a small buff once his changes had some time to settle and players adapt. So, just his Q? I thought they changed his passive with that whole spiel. Initial damage for his Q. 45 through 125 plus 80 is now 50 through 150 plus 65 bonus AD. Higher base damage but lower AD scaling. 85 through 225. Plus 140 is now 80 through 260 plus 115. Combined damage. 130 plus 350 to 220 is now 410 plus 180%. I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to be fine early game. Not even. Right? Like, maybe it's fine early, but once he finishes some items, this is a net nerf, isn't it? I don't see how any of this is really a buff. So you tone down his scaling so he doesn't buy lethality and give him a little bit higher base damage, which is an adjustment, I suppose. But is it worth it? Because after he finishes, what, like 2 items? This is already a nerf? Unless you're trying to... Like, they're trying to push people towards being less assassin-y and more bruisery. Yeah, I don't agree. Trading damage for scaling seems to be the name of this patch. Katarina, 4 base armor. That's it? Okay. Malphite, plus 3 base armor. Rock solid. Malphite's a solid top laner. A rock solid top laner. Consistent rock. And the base damage on his E, 70 to 230 is now 80 to 240. So plus 10 damage to his E. That's not a big deal. That 3 armor is a big deal. If you don't understand, like, remember Malphite gets bonus benefits off of his armor. His armor is always much higher than it appears because his W passively gives him bonus armor that scales with whatever his armor is. And then when his passive is up, it triples that bonus, I believe. So 3 armor is actually like 1,000,000 armor, actually. 37 to 40 does not sound big, but that's big for Malphite. Orianna. A higher level skill player, early wave was far too safe, and her optimized builds make her too tanky. Okay. So just nerfing Orianna ahead of Worlds. 70 through 270 plus 70 is now 70 through 230 plus 80. So better scaling, but she lost some base damage. That's fine. I think that makes sense because she plays for scale anyway, right? She plays for scaling build. She likes to go tier to build towards Seraphs with like Liandry's or something. So she plays for scale anyway. Pantheon. Our nerfs to last patch, the Pantheon hit him a bit too hard. So they're walking back a little bit of the monster damage modifier, not a lot. Minion monster damage cap is now 150. Yeah, because Pantheon jungle has the same balance issue that a lot of other junglers have, which is that the gank can't fail. Right? Unless you specifically have a champion that's good against that champion, the gank can't fail. Right? So if you have high mobility or a way to negate his W or some of his damage, it's a free gank every single time. If you are not just sitting under your tower and Pantheon walks in a range, it's a point and click stun. So if you don't have a way to deal with a point and click stun, the gank is guaranteed to at least deal significant damage even if they can't kill you, which means they can force you to back. Right? Or potentially threaten a dive. Because you can't outplay the point and click stun, right? Unless your champion has something in their kit that allows them to. It's the same reason why Maokai jungle was so broken. It's the same reason why Vi is so good, right? Like, I remember a couple patches ago, they tried to nerf Vi, but it's like, what makes Vi broken is her ultimate is, I'm going to point and click, and you are guaranteed to get hit, right? Like, if you don't have something in your kit that makes you unstoppable, you're going to get hit every single time. Which, you know, she ults you, then she Qs you, her team follows up, she has like a Gallia or an Orianna. It's guaranteed engaged. There's nothing you can do. But whatever. You know, I'm just yapping. Veigar. Dark Matter AP ratio. 60 to 100 is now 70 through 110. A short joke. Veigar's been coming up a bit short of success as of late. A short joke. Volibear. One of the strongest junglers in solo queue for a while now? Yeah, he has been. AP ratio on his passive down 5%. Skyplitter AP ratio down 10%. Damn. Yeah, they're just bringing down Volibear's AP builds a little bit. That's understandable. Everyone's sick of seeing Cosmic Drive, Rod of Ages, Nashor's 2. The Omnivamp item, Riftmaker. Everyone's sick of seeing that build, so I think this is fine. This might bring, because it doesn't affect his other builds. Like Tank Volley isn't hurt by this at all. Maybe a little bit. He loses a little bit of base damage, assuming he had any ability power. But the builds that don't have any ability power don't care. Warwick. Warwick is particularly impressive in lower skill brackets of play. So his attack damage growth cut by 0.25. Attack speed growth point by 0.3. Okay. So a little bit less natural AD and attack speed. Warwick will probably still be fine. He's Warwick. I mean, you can't really mess up playing Warwick. Wukong. Wukong has been performing quite well at the highest levels of play. Yes, it's a world nerf. So his Q bonus damage AD ratio down 5%. Oh, that sucks for you. The clone up 2 seconds across the board in cooldown. Damage down 5% across the board. Okay, so some actual meaningful nerfs to Wukong here. Nerfed his Q, nerfed his W, his E. Base damage 80 through 200 is now 80 through 240. So he's got a little bit of extra damage on his E. So slightly better wave clear, I suppose. Lane swap detection. Now lasts until 4 minutes. Not bad. Yeah, this is definitely just to stop supports roaming top lane so early. Because we still live in a meta after the lane swap detection where supports will be in your lane at level 3 to fuck over your top laner. So that's still good. All right, final round of Doombots, by the way. If you haven't beaten all 3 of your Doombots, make sure to get into it now. Here's a plethora of buffs and nerfs to the bots. So this is your last chance to potentially earn that title. Arena. I'm actually going to take a quick glance at Arena. Just a quick glance because I've been playing a lot of it lately. Q buff for Nidalee, E buff for Nidalee, Israel passive attack speed, passive duration, up. QAD, our cooldown. Oh, wow. Talia, buffed. Hui, buffed. Jace, buffed. Ambessa, nerfed. Aurelion, buffed. Tryndamere, hopefully nerfed. Yes, heavy nerfs. But just his W? Yasuo. Pass shield is no longer 30% stronger in Arena. E base damage. Nerfed. Udyr. Q bonus AD ratio. Instead of just 2%, it's 1.5% per 100 bonus AD. So just some nerfs to AD Udyr. And the AP ratio got increased. Yeah, so they're just bringing up AP Udyr for Arena. And buffing the turtle. And the boar, okay. Pantheon. Slight nerf. Slight nerf to Silas. Kale. Buff. Buff. Shaco. Passive bonus AD ratio. So they're trying to bring... Oh, wow. That's a huge nerf. From 80% to 10%? They're trying to bring AD Shaco back. Bard W Trust Time. So buffs to Bard... Okay. Minimum attack speed removed. You will no longer gain attack speed if you are below 1.0. Mad Hatter. That's a good nerf. And you don't get it immediately. Gambit Anvil to stop people from just going Anvils. Ricochet max mana. It's required to power 1, now 3. Nice. Zeke's convergence, duration 12 seconds. Okay. Both fixes quality of life, and then the Flora Fatalis skins. Alright, that's League of Legends patch. Sorry, I was just looking through the arena stuff real quick. I was kind of quiet about it. This Fiddlestick skin is really cool, by the way. Look at this. They put, like, a woman's face on Fiddlesticks. Right? To me, this improves the horror aspect significantly. Because it looks more human, which is scary. Alright. Let's take a look at the Teamfight Tactics patch notes now. That is a lot of changes. Oh, Protagonist got nerfed. That's good to see. Star Guardian, Soulfighter, Crystal Gambit got nerfed. Yet another Crystal Gambit nerf. Changes to Mighty Mech. Ooh. Alright. Here's the streamer mode stuff again. Large changes. New power-ups. Okay. So this is supposed to be a cross-promotion with 2XKO, the League of Legends fighting game. Let me quickly move that out of the way. Alright, let's take a look. 2X Contender. Vi, Ari, Darius, Yasuo, Jinx, Braum, and Echo gain 4% damage and 2% durability for each unique copy fielded. This unit gains 75% more. Champions, secondary Vi. What? Okay, so yeah, you can put it on up to 2 characters. So you can make a comp with Vi, Ari, Darius, Yasuo, Jinx, Braum, and Echo. Those are the 2xKO champions, by the way. So that's difficult to do because you have to hit. You have to hit what's it called? Isekai to get Echo. But if you Isekai an Echo and he's like a he can be a Sorka strategist, and what's the last one? I don't remember what else he can pop up as. I guess if you have Echo as a strategist, that's 7 units. So you can have Echo as a strategist and then put in a couple other strats, maybe? Whatever. Like, the idea would be you need to hit strategists. Or not strategists, you need to hit Isekai. So if you hit Isekai on 2-1, I don't even know if you still can, but if you can hit Isekai on 2-1, and you're like, oh, screw it, I'll go for the 2xKO board, and then you play all of these units. And then what? You roll on 7 for Ari Yasuo reroll? That's very, very interesting. I like the sound of that. 2xKO. After 2 takedowns, stun enemies within 2 seconds for 2 seconds, and gain 35% damage amp for the rest of combat. For Naafiri, Jace, Darius, Volibear, and Braum. That could be pretty good for Darius reroll. Honestly, that's pretty good for all these champs. Attempt 37. Echo's spell prioritizes the closest enemy, but he heals 20% max health on cast and deals 6% more damage each time his spell hits the target. So, they're making some serious changes to Echo. Are we going to be able to get him without a Sekai? It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're just adding cool fruit that he can access. Corner carry. Gain 30% attack speed. At 75% health and 25% health, dash to the safest position and gain infinite range. For Ashe, Kai'Sa, Xayah, and Jinx. That sounds pretty good. 30% attack speed base, and it'll relocate. That's pretty good. So if your opponent has a way to hit your backline carry, wow. Denting blows. Vi spell now shields for instead of heals, but is increased by 25%. When this occurs, Vi quickly strikes 4 times, each hit reducing the target's resist by 5. I wonder if that works with the Vi hero augment. Double down. Gain 18% damage amp. When this unit casts, your other powered up unit gains 20% of the mana spent. So Ezreal, Janna, and Ari. That could be pretty good. Janna reroll, Ari reroll. Oh, but maybe you don't do Janna reroll. Because Janna reroll likes to do it with Veteran. So I don't know if you would do it that way. On Ari, it can't be that bad. Right? Ari giving more mana to the rest of your backline. Or not to the rest of your backline, to your other powered up champion. So I suppose that could work well with like a Sork comp. Fury Break. Gain 25% attack speed. When your other powered up unit dies, gain a burst of 300% attack speed that decays over 4 seconds. If you die first, give them the burst instead. So Nara, Kale, Zaya, Kog'Maw, Jinx, Ashe, Ziggs, Zyra, Twisted Fate. Interesting. So they could pop off really hard for a little bit there. I'm trying to think if that's like better than some of the other stuff these units might want. Right? Like, would you ever take that on Zaya? Over veteran or over fan service? No. Maybe Kog'Maw? Jinx might like it. Ashe? Well, Ashe doesn't scale with attack speed anymore. But then again, she's getting changed this patch, so let's hold that thought. Zyra and Twisted Fate is nice for them to get that bonus. Twisted Fate especially. Ziggs. Okay. Noxious Trap. Which, by the way, Denting Blows is the name of Vi's W in League. Noxious Trap is a Teemo's mushroom. Damage you deal burns, wounds, 20% shreds, and 20% sunders enemies for 4 seconds. That's pretty good. And you can get it on Malzahar? That sounds really good. And Senna. Wow. That sounds like a really good one. Am I crazy? So it's a red buff. And it's a Last Whisper slash Void Staff. And it cuts heal. Okay. Quick Tag. On death, spawn a unit of the same role with the same number of items. This unit is 1 cost lower and has 15% reduced health. Champions. Yasuo, Darius, Braum. So a 2-cost fighter. You can get a 2-cost fighter or a 4-cost fighter. Interesting. So if, for example, Braum could spawn a Volibear. Okay. I don't know the roles off the top of my head. Rocket Grab. At combat start, gain a 20% health shield for 4 seconds. When your target dies, pull the next target into melee range and regains the shield. Oh, I see. So when your frontline champion dies, or no, when your frontline champion gets a shield, and when their target dies, they'll just pull their next target in a range instead of walking to them. And then they get the shield again. Cannon Rakan, Nico, Casanti. Here's the thing though, is that going to be better than Tankzilla? We shall see. Because it doesn't pull a backline champion, it just pulls their next target. So there's no downtime. And I guess when you're pulling them, they get stunned, so it could potentially pull them off of something else. Snacks time. Braum's cast also throws 5 poros at random enemies. Each deals 200% of Braum's base attack damage as physical damage. So when Braum casts, he just does a bunch of damage to 5 random units. No, it says 5 poros at random enemies, not at 5 random enemies. So he just does some extra damage. 5 extra instances of damage, which could all potentially hit the same target. Cool. That might be a good one. Stalking Dart. Every 10 mana, Ahri gains fires. Or Ahri gains fires. That's what it says. Ahri gains fires. Okay. Every 10 mana, Ari gains fires a Foxfire dart towards her target. Dealing 5% of her spell's damage is magic damage. Oh, every 10 mana Ari gains fires a Foxfire dart. Okay. That. Sorry. Like, it felt weird to read. Anyway, Ari gains mana. She does damage. And it's single target damage and it affects whatever her current target is. Okay. Super Mega Death Rocket? Jinx gains 20% attack damage. Every third cast is twice as big and splits 50% more damage among enemies hit. Bro, I hope you're nerfing Jinx, because Jinx is already really goddamn strong. They're not. Holy crap. Jinx is about to be the strongest unit on the patch. Tentacle Smash. After 4 seconds, stun enemies within 3 hexes for 1 second. Repeat every 9 seconds. Vi, Set, Poppy, Zac, Dr. Mundo, Aatrox. So some of the tankiest champs in the game here. Set, Poppy, Dr. Mundo. They just stun the whole board over and over. Okay. Wind Wall. Yasuo, of course. Yasuo gains 60% crit chance and takes 15% reduced damage from non-adjacent enemies. Jesus. Cool. We're disabling... Wait. This is going to be pretty good if you put like an IE on Yasuo, right? Because then you don't need to hit a gauntlet or anything. Damn. Imagine hitting an Executioner Crest and putting that on Yasuo. And then he gets to do that with Mentor Senna. And then you just go Windwall Yasuo. And then you put that new thing on Senna. I can't remember what it's called. Noxious Trap. You put that on Senna and you put Windwall on Yasuo. Seems pretty good. Opening encounter. Artifact Anvil encounter is disabled. Thank God. Thank God. Now just remove Trainer Golem and everyone's happy. Actually, Trainer Golem is fun, but it's not competitive. That's the problem. It's fun, but it's not competitive at all. In its current state, Christingham is too good a late game cash out trait and splash. The vertical is also overperforming, partially due to the cash outs that can transition into dominant late game boards. You'll need a pretty powerful cash out to take the top of the lobby. 7 mech is great, but getting there feels like a requirement, and having to hit Yone makes it rather risky. So we're lowering the gap between 5 and 7 and putting some power in Yone so that it's less feast or famine. We're adjusting Lunar's trainer bag sizes to solve back manipulation, generally simplified distribution. There will now be 22 copies of Lulu in the pool, and those copies are shared across all monsters. Wow. Okay, so you can't have multiple people going monster trainer and just going different monsters now. You know, people were abusing this. They would make like they would put like their Smolder 2 on the board, but then every other Lulu they get, they would put it on the board and pull it back and make it into like a Rammus or something. I don't know if you could still do that, but now it doesn't matter anyway. Star Guardian trade bonuses are a bit too strong from Xayah and Jinx. We're lowering them slightly. Ah, so that's why they feel confident giving Jinx such a powerful hit. Also because 2x KO plus Arcane. That's why Jinx is going to be strong right there. She's a money-making machine. Crystal Gambit Stage 4 multiplier. 1.85. 130%. How many times they got to nerf Crystal Gambit, dude? This always happens with whatever their loss trait is. Their loss streak trait. Mighty Mech mana, 50 to 100. Now it's 40 to 80, so a cute little buff. Third cast damage, 480 AP. But they buffed Yone, supposedly, in exchange for nerfing the mech. Monster Annihilator has unique bag rules. Soul Fighter Health. 128, 650 is now 120, 600. Okay. Even less reason to go 8 Soul Fighter. Star Guardian's Eye, 60 plus 75 is now 50 plus 60. The King attacks me on takedown, minus 5%. Jinx is going to be busted. It doesn't fucking matter. 2 cost units. Gangplank attack damage increase. Increase resist also increase. Alright. As long as range Gangplank doesn't come back, it's probably fine. Ari overkill damage amount. 80%. Jesus. And with the extra fruit she now has? Ram is 100 HP. Mana buff as well. Smolder spell primary damage 265 through 635, not 290 to 700. So they're buffing the monster trainers probably to compensate for the lower pool, since it'll be way harder to hit if you're contested now. Udyr heal 130 to 220 is now 140 to 230, so just 10. Yasuo base spell is less likely to hit the backline when other units are nearby. Alright, they're doing that because of Wind Wall, 100%. Then again, it says base spell, so that probably doesn't account for Mentor 4? I don't know. 4 cost units. Akali dash damage. Buffed when you 2-star her, but nerfed at 1-star. Ashe base AD up by 3 spell damage. 17 through 125 plus 1 plus up to 10 AP is now 20 through 150 plus up to 15 AP. That doesn't change anything, right? All right. I feel like the big problem with Ashe was that her thing doesn't scale with attack speed anymore, but we'll see. That's a lot of numbers, and these champions bother me. Lee Sin resist increase. Minicast stun nerf for executioner. Minicast primary buffed by 50 and then 75 at 2-star. Executioner large cast stun 2.5 seconds. Wow, full extra second. Lee Sin Juggernaut single target damage increased by a lot. 800 at level 1. 1200. Jesus. Two hex AoE damage 150, 225, 100, 150. Okay, so that's good. Seraphine base damage 150, 240 friendship, 165, 275 friendship. Twisted Fate spell damage 200, 380, 230, 350. Some huge buff to these 5 costs. Yone attack speed per attack up 5%. That is not as big of a buff as I was thinking he was going to get. Zara backline plant. A little more attack speed, but more damage as well. Okay. At least it's more of a drop to round out your comp, and less of a roundhouse kick to drop your opponents out. That's fun. Augments, alright. Mech Augment is back, baby. The new Mech Prismatic will be achieved with only taking 1 Augment. Thanks for your patience. Really? Really? Wait, hold on. So, you do not need 3 anymore for I'll Be the Head. So, you don't have to worry about I'll Be the Legs and I'll Be the Arms anymore. Right? You just need I'll Be the Head, and it'll show up on 2-1. And if you hit it, you need 7 Mighty Mech, 14 star levels, and reach level 10. 14 star levels. So you have to 3-star like 4 of your units. You don't have to 3-star them, right? Like, if you have 7 Mighty Mech and you 2-star all of them. Yeah, you just need to 2-star all of them. What am I talking about? If you 2-star all the Mighty Mechs, you get it. 2-star all your Mighty Mechs, hit level 10. That's all you have to do. And you get 2 other augments now to help you. And then there's Prismatic as well. Damn! Yo, and with the buffs to a Mighty Mech in general, I'll Be the Head might actually be the wave. You probably just instant click it the moment you see it. That sounds pretty good. You no longer need to get 3 augments. It's just the 1 augment now. Damn. And for a gold augment, I think that's pretty good. Because you just need to 2-star all of them. That's it. 2-star all of them and reach level 10. What are the odds you can't 2-star the Yone after you hit level 10? I guess if you're weak and you're struggling to get there, 2-starring the Yone might be that last hurdle. You might be contested J4 Karma. Yeah, I suppose so. But if you're like win streaking, right? Like you have a great early game and a decent mid game, and you have 2 other augments now to help you get there, and 7 Mighty Mech's not even bad. It's definitely a top 4 comp anyway. Sounds good to me. Man, I love that augment, bro. I already have 2 videos of me getting Prismatic Galio. Alright, let's look at the other augments. 9,000 volts spell damage. So this is Kennan's augment. 160, 360, 145 to 330. So it's just a nerf. Give him the chair. That's Mundo's augment. 120 to 280 is now 100 to 225. So that also got a heavy nerf. Twilight Assault is the Shen augment. 70 through 170, 60 through 140. So they just nerfed these hero augments. Alright. Aura farming no longer grants a completed item. Yeah, but aura farming gives the champion at 4-3 now instead of 4-6. So you get the champion earlier. And generally speaking, a 2-star 5 cost on 4-3 is a win condition all on its own anyway. Backup Dancers no longer appears on 2-1. Okay. I wonder if it was too strong in the early game. Maybe. Big Friend 1 durability, 9%. Big Friend 2 durability, 12%. Blood Rage no longer appears on 2-1. The damage amp has been... It's a higher minimum but a lower maximum. Care Package effect now matches tooltip, grants 3 rewards total. The Darkness Within minion health per stage, nerf. I've seen the Darkness Within like maybe once or twice. No one ever takes it. Diversified portfolio removed. Fair enough. Golden Quest, Lee Sin Artifact. Infinity Force is now Death's Defiance instead. Golden Quest, Zyra items. Hextech Gunblade plus Muramana is now Spear of Shojin plus Flicker Blade. Huh. Flicker Blade. Huh. Golden Quest Seraphine item. Archangel Staff plus Muramana is now Jewel Gauntlet plus Flicker Blade. Yeah, but the Flicker Blade would go on Jinx at that point, right? Golden Quest Gwen Artifact. Donkor now gives Zoni's Paradox instead. Nice. Keepers. A hefty nerf, I'm hoping. Minus 15 and then minus 20 for Keepers 2. Know your enemy max damage at 18%. Nice little buff to that. We saw I'll Be the Head. Lit Fuse no longer appears on 2-1. Max cap has been removed. Wow. Protagonist. Additional champion every turn. Effect begins after 3 turns instead of immediately. So it's just like what's it called? Worth the wait 1. Worth the wait 1 makes you wait 3 turns. It makes it a lot less likely for you to just 4-star the champion super early. Because that's what people were doing. People would take protagonist and then you hit like 3 or 4 units that you need in the shop. So you hit protagonist Garen, but then you hit 3 or 4 Garens naturally in stage 2. And it's like, well, now you're guaranteed to have a 4-star Garen. And he's going to farm 10,000 HP. So it's a little less likely now. Since you have to wait 3 rounds. Bumping up 2 and 3 got increased. 2% for 2 and 4% for 3. Tiny team bonus minus 50%. Damn, gutted. Unlimited power now gives Gnasher's Tooth and Jewel Gauntlet instead. Items and Radiant items. Ionic Spark, an extra 100 HP, an extra 10 MR. Shock base damage slightly nerfed to compensate. Bloodthirster, plus 5% AP and AD. So, and the same with Radiant Bloodthirster. It seems that it was a little too weak. I mean, who builds Bloodthirster anyway? You put it on like a Braum. It's the only unit I can think of that builds a Bloodthirster. And even then, most people would rather build Tank Braum. Radiant Edge of Night up by 10% for both AP and AD. Radiant Ionic Spark plus 300 HP, 15 AP, and 30 MR. Radiant Gnasher's Tooth attack speed cut by 10%. Cool. Artifacts. Dawn Core, minus 5 AP, minus 5 AD. Blighting Jewel, plus 10% AP. Less mana gain, though. I mean, more damage is more damage. The whole point of Blighting Jewel, though, is for the shred. Luden's Tempest removed. So no more Ludens, damn. Fish Bones, 50%? They gave Fish Bones a 30% increase to AD and a 20%. Oh, but it no longer doubles range. Okay. So that makes it less likely for you to get Fish Bones and hit the enemy backline. Right? Because if it's corner to corner, like your left corner to the enemy's right corner, your unit actually has to move up. So you don't have to worry about, like, Jin, for example, one-shotting your carry in the corner with Fish Bones anymore. Not unless they move the Jin out of the corner, which to put it in danger. So Fish Bones, more damage, more attack speed, which is more damage, but it no longer gives the range. So you don't just lose your carry right at the start. Mittens plus 15% attack speed. Talisman of Ascension, an extra 100 HP to help you get there. Power-ups. Oh, man. Power-ups that require traits will also filter on stage 2. Let's just see if there's anything here that, like, stands out to me. Adaptive Skin. Armor and magic resist increased. All out increased. Best defense, a 35% damage nerf deserved. Blank attack bonus damage now 200%. Double strike 5%. Finalist up 3% in amp. That's not bad. I actually like Finalist. Gather Force, minus 5%. Probably still going to be really strong. Max Vitality, 20 HP per 10 seconds. Not done yet. Doesn't take as long as to scale anymore. Only 6 deaths. Over 9,000. 4% nerf to the damage. Shine Brighter, bonus damage. 30%. So they're trying to make Lux reroll a bit more viable. Sky Piercer, less damage amp. Probably the right call because you take it for the shred anyway. Star Sailor's now a 33% increase. So that can compensate for the nerf to Star Guardian. Star Sailor weight, 10 instead of 20. What does that mean? Star Sailor trait requirements, you need at least 4 Star Guardians on the board. Star Student weight, also 10. And requires 5 Battle Academias on the board for it to pop up. That's nice. It would suck to see Star Sailor and Star Student when you were not even going vertical. So now you don't have to worry about seeing that as one of the options taking up a slot if you're not doing that. Trickster has been removed. Unflinching, an extra 10% Omnivamp. Veteran 4, Mentor stats. Nerfed slightly. I saw that coming. Minus 5%. Veteran move to primary on all available champions. Weights. Attack speed, minus 10%. Yeah, weights can be kind of scary if you hit a viable champion for it on like 2-1 or before 2-1, like you got it out of loot. And then you can put it on there and then just lost streak the stage. Small changes. Power-ups. Say goodbye to bait power-ups and hello to 2xKO. Janna can no longer get Sky Piercer or Solar Breath. Jinx can get all the ones we pointed out earlier. But Jinx can no longer get Double Strike, Attack Expert, or Power Font. Malzahar can no longer get Sky Piercer or Solar Breath. Senna cannot get Sky Piercer or Solar Breath. Twisted Fate cannot get Sky Piercer or Solar Breath. That makes sense because they can all get that new augment. Twisted Fate moves to secondary Soul Chipper. Shen Twilight Soul can now get Corner Carry, Fury Break, and Stormbender. Okay, so that compensates for the nerfs to Shen. His augment, anyway. These gloves can now roll higher tier combinations based on the player's level instead of solely rolling off of game stage. Okay, so you can get a slightly better Thieves Gloves earlier if you've been investing into leveling up. Alright. There's the TFT patch notes, and we still have one more thing to look at. That's the developer update. So let's just bring our client here over. Watch now.
Hey everyone, I'm Paul, aka Pabro.
And I'm Andre, also known as Meddler. Today is September 22nd, so anything that happens between now and when this video goes out won't be covered.
In this video, we'll have some members from the dev team on to talk about smurfing and griefing, improvements to streamer mode, and a new take on ARAM.
Now though, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Eduardo, Riot Cadmus Cortejoso.
And I'm Riot Phlox.
We're back again for yet another game mode.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if your snowballs were larger?
Like, really large?
What about if you had multiple flashes for the biggest Zoe paddle star you've ever imagined?
Or if your ult reset all of your ability cooldowns.
Well, good news. We have a new mode for you that we're calling ARAM Mayhem.
It's ARAM, but with augments. It combines all the fun augment-fueled variations of Arena with 5v5 ARAM gameplay. If you're a Wild Rift player, this might look a little familiar. We took a lot of inspiration and learning from the success of AAA ARAM there, and wanted to see what this could look like in League.
We want every champion to feel special and get to explore some combinations and fantasies that they don't normally get outside of Arena. Some of the augments we made are specifically tailored for this mode, like augments that play off of multiple people. We know that this is a big diversion from ARAM standard gameplay, so don't worry, ARAM purists. There is a regular queue that will still be active while ARAM Mayhem is live.
It'll be
No. I think this is fine, because if you ask me, ARAM has devolved into this poke fest, right? Where I roll for poke champions or I don't win. So I kind of like that they're doing this.
We'll be live with patch 2521, so look forward to some mayhem coming to the bridge soon. Before we go, we wanted to close the loop on map rotations. For Season 2, we introduced 2 new ARAM maps, Coastion's Crossing and Butcher's Bridge.
Originally, our intent was to turn them off after Season 2 was over, but we saw a lot of feedback from many of you asking to keep them around, so we're making them permanent.
And we also want to quickly touch on map performance. We've seen some of you mention that you've been experiencing some issues across the different maps.
We've been working on a handful of improvements, some of which went live in 2519, with some more scheduled across the next few patches. That said, if you have any more performance issues, let us know.
And that's it for us for now. Check out the blog for some more information on the mode, and we'll see you causing mayhem in ARAM.
Hey everyone, I'm Riot Froxon.
And I'm just a capybara.
You know what I'm going to say, right? eliminated.
And we're back today to talk more about what we've been doing to tackle smurfing, how it's been going, and what we'll be doing next. In the last dev update, we talked about how we were going to start taking additional action against accounts that engage in the two most common smurfing behaviors we see, boosting and hitchhiking.
As of patch 2518, we've started taking action against accounts that do this stuff.
So far, we believe we're hitting our targets with an over 99% accuracy rate over more than 10,000 cases. We're taking this a bit slow to make sure that we don't wrongfully punish anyone, but we expect to ramp this up to more than 10x in the coming weeks and months.
Big thanks to all of you at home. Your reports have helped us identify these accounts so we can punish them accordingly.
Another thing we talked about in the last dev update was how we were going to crack down on accounts that were being purchased, sold, or shared.
We're doing this in a phased approach to make sure our and another 2.5 million accounts that were waiting to be sold.
Hundreds of your questions and created an FAQ with the most commonly asked ones that's live now, so go check it out. One common question we do want to answer now though is when bans for these types of infractions will go.
We're going to apply the same penalty and escalations across all of their accounts.
Our penalty letters,
Let us know how you like it.
and that's it from us. If you're looking for more information on the features we talked about today, please check out the dev blog and FAQ out now.
So until next time, thanks for keeping it honorable on the Rift.
And if you aren't, prepare to be
Terminated! Annihilated!
and have a nice day.
So this November marks 1 year since Arcane's finale, and we'll be celebrating that anniversary online with all of you.
The Arcane team will be looking back at the series, sharing behind-the-scenes content, and bringing back some fan-favorite merch.
For League, we'll be kicking off the anniversary in patch 25.23. There'll be a free mini reward track with new icons and emotes, and we'll also be bringing back all the Arcane skins from Season 1 and Season 2.
This also includes Arcane Fractured Jinx, who's getting some upgrades. Jinx will now have a spawning animation when the game starts, plus some visual updates across all three of her forms. Shimmer Jinx and Powder are also getting brand new recalls, along with unique chompers to match each of their personas.
And if you already got the skin last year, it will of course be updated for free to include those new features. To find out more about the anniversary event, do check out the blog on arcane.com. Okay, a few more miscellaneous updates. We're working on improving tags for emotes, so you'll be able to search for any emote with just a champion's name. The technology is finally, almost, here. We're going to be shipping that sometime before the end of the year. We'll also have a change coming to the practice tool. Soon, when using the practice tool, you'll be able to play any champion if you started up solo. And this will allow you to try out champions you think you might like, or give them a test run if you've been on the fence about purchasing them. That change will go live in patch 25.21, so do be sure to check it out.
And for those of you wondering, the Blue Essence Emporium will be back in patch 25.23, and your shop will be back in 25.24.
Now, last, but certainly not least, we wanted to remind you all that the World's Play-In stage kicks off next week on October 14th in Beijing.
To celebrate, we'll be adding some map accents soon to bring a bit of Worlds to the Rift. Remember to do your pick'ems. Andre and I are working on them, and we actually have a bet riding on this one. Whoever's pick'ems are worse will wear the company and Mumu suit at a random company event.
That is true, unless my pick'ems are worse, at which point I will not. Anyway,
He's
that's
wearing
it.
that suit. All right, that's it from us today.
The next time you
Not bad. I actually really like the Era Mayhem. We're definitely going to try that out because I've been addicted to Arena lately. But hey, that's all the patch notes. The World's patch was pretty much what we expected. A lot of the big pro play champions like Azir, Orianna getting changed right before World starts, and otherwise the patch notes aren't that big. For TFT, there's some huge ones. I actually can't wait to see how big of a shift we're going to see in the TFT meta, especially with the Mighty Mech being such a good first place comp. And aside from that, yeah, that's about that. The only other piece of news to cover is the revival for one of the TFT seasons, which is the Dragon season. That's going to be fun too. But yeah. Until then, that's going to do it for me today. I'm going to end the stream here for my YouTube peeps. This will be a whole video. I'm not cutting any of it because when I didn't cut it, I got a lot more views. So this is going to be another hour-long video of patch notes, news, and other things. So that's going to be it for you guys, and I we'll bring the stream back up in just a little bit so we can play some arena. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see y'all real soon. Peace.